First off, I just want to say thank you to Alan Gooch, Executive Director of the Cure Bowl, and FBC Mortgage Company and the Orlando Sports Foundation. Also want to thank Georgia Southern University, our administration. Want to thank our players, our coaches, everybody that's involved that has gotten us here. And, you know, this is a great bowl game to come to. You know, we started off the season 1-3, and we had 2 feet in the grave. And our guys have been very resilient and worked very hard to get into this bowl game. And it's been a first-class trip. Our guys have been treated very well, and it's been very exciting. On top of that, I mean, just, man, what a cause. You know, breast cancer awareness, being able to, you know, play football and bring awareness to that type of cause is something that's very invaluable. So very blessed for that. Next thing, you know, what a great opponent in Liberty. You know, as I watched them and, you know, talking to Coach Freeze last night, you know, just hearing some of the stories about their team and, you know, what they've done to get in their first ever bowl game and, you know, watching their offense, defense, special teams, you know, this is exciting for us. This is a great challenge for us, and we're looking forward to a great, you know, 60-plus minute dogfight come Saturday. And, you know, that's something that our guys know a lot about. And so looking forward to that. You know, one thing I would like to say is just talk a little bit about Georgia Southern football. College football is a business, but at Georgia Southern, it's a family business. And that's something that we don't take lightly. You know, we believe in our identity. We're blue collar, we're disciplined, we're tough. And I tell our guys all the time, that does not take talent to be that. And, you know, our guys have exemplified that all year. We always talk about being the Georgia Southern man. And we have our own core values. We have the things that we live by. And we do not, you know, go away from that. And that's what has made this season very special for us, in that we've had a lot of adversity that's not normal. You know, all football seasons, all football teams face adversity every year, but we've had an abnormal amount of it. And just to see our guys be so resilient all year and continue to work and get after it and get themselves in position to go finish off the season with a bowl championship, you know, I can't say enough about them or our coaches and our whole staff for doing that. At Georgia Southern, this is a epic story. Georgia Southern football, when you start looking at the history of how it was founded, how it was started, you know, from Coach Russell coming from the University of Georgia as a defensive coordinator, coming down and starting a program from nothing, you know, didn't even have a football for the press conference, didn't have uniforms, didn't have ways to travel, didn't have anything. And that's what we are. That's our program. It's just, you know, not saying that we deserve anything, always going and earn everything that we get. And, you know, it's an epic story. I mean, 6 national championships at the FCS level, make the jump up to FBS, and, you know, have the opportunity now to go get a 3rd bowl victory. And, you know, that's something that we talk about all the time with our team, is leaving a legacy. Georgia Southern football, you know, when you start looking at that story, you know, our seniors want to add to that legacy. They're a team, when they first came in, we were 7-17 in their first 2 years. Going into this game, they got an opportunity to be 18-8, and that's a great turnaround for them. They got an opportunity to be the first team to be back-to-back bowl champions. They have the opportunity, you know, to finish off something that they came to Georgia Southern to do. And very proud of them, because they're taking care of business off the field and on the field, and looking forward to a great contest on Saturday.
Hey, Coach, this morning it sounds like Georgia Southern has sold about 4,500 tickets, about 500 shy of the goal. Would you mind doing what you often do so well and look in the cameras and tell Eagle Nation, if they haven't already, buy their tickets, why should they come on down and support the team this weekend?
You know, Eagle Nation, you know, obviously we feed off that energy. We always talk about the power of Paulson, and hearing that, you know, you've bought 4,500 tickets, you know, looking forward to the power of Paulson coming into Orlando. And if you are on the fence about it, get off the fence, come on down to Orlando, and let's watch a great game. We would love to feel that energy.
Coach, can you talk about the health of your team coming to this game, specifically Raymond Johnson?
You know, the great thing about bowl games is, you know, the timing of things between our last game and obviously this game give us a little bit more time to get guys healthy. Raymond, we expect him to play. I don't know, you know, as far as his cardio, how many plays he'll be able to get, but he will play. And obviously we missed him in our last game, and we're looking forward to getting him. But for the most part, we're as healthy as we can be going into this 13th game. And, you know, but the one thing that I'll say about our kids, when we have a guy that maybe gets injured, banged up, can't go, we're in a next man up mentality, and we trust everybody on our team to step up and not let anything drop off.
And just one other thing, can you just talk about you have two good corners, but it seems like you struggle in your pass defense a little bit this year. Where do you think that problem, what the root of that problem is, and what kind of challenges does Liberty's passing game pose for you?
Well, you know, sometimes what happens is you may not play your technique right, or you may not be tied in the back end and on the same page, and you may make some mistakes. And, you know, we've given up some plays because of it. You know, and that's, we continue to work. We talk about we got to make sure we communicate on the back end, and we put a heavy emphasis on making sure our fundamentals were right. Because when your last game is on the 30th, and then you turn around and you're playing on the 21st, you know, you've got to make sure that you are staying with your technique, working your fundamentals, and making sure that you're in a position to make plays. So we put a lot of stress on that, and our guys are up to the challenge. You know, we've got three really good corners that are all three seniors, with Monquavian Brinson, Kendall Vildor, and Jesse Liptrot. And, you know, I trust those guys, and I know they'll go out there and give it their best and give us a chance to win.
Coach, you talked about identity. I'm wondering, how does the tradition of running the option offense here at Georgia Southern add to that definition of the identity of this program, and why has it been so effective specifically this year?
I said this last year at our bowl game, we're not sexy, we're just blue collar. And that's what we are on offense. We're going to establish the run. And we believe in winning a football game with our plan to win, and part of that is dominating the run game. And that's a team goal for us. We want to establish the run on offense, and we want to stop the run on defense. And then when we throw the ball, we want to be efficient and we want to be explosive. And, you know, I trust our receivers, I trust our running backs, I trust our O-line, I trust our quarterback to go out there and make the plays when they're called. And, you know, if you look at us this season, yes, we run the ball a lot. That's what we do, and that's what we're going to try to establish. But when it's time to make a pass play, you've seen our guys do that this year. So I don't expect anything less from them, and I expect them to go and be our identity on Saturday, blue-collar, disciplined, and tough.
Coach, this game was moved this year from Camping World to Orlando City Stadium, a soccer-specific stadium, very tight. Your 5,000 will probably sound like 10 with the acoustics in there, tight quarters, fast track. How unique is this experience, and how do you think a football game will go in there?
I think this is going to be really great. I mean, if you haven't ever been to Paulson Stadium before, I mean, it's loud there also. I don't know, maybe it'll be even louder in this stadium, but that's fine. We're ready for it, and our guys will feed off that energy. Very excited about what this stadium really brings to that atmosphere of college football, and I know our guys will enjoy that. And you know, we obviously got to enjoy it, but we got to also be able to focus and make sure we can control what we can control. But really looking forward to experiencing it.
Coach, when you first popped in the tape and saw Liberty, what really made you nervous about going against them, or what were some of the things that really stood out right away?
Just you know, on their offense, the tempo, the explosiveness that they have. They get off to really good starts when you start looking at their points that they've scored in the first half. You know, and that's something that we got to be mindful of. We got to make sure that we get out there, don't let them get off to a fast start. And then defensively, I just see them running around making plays. Man, that number 11, you know, defensive end, that joker runs from sideline to sideline, and you know, he's going to be a terror. So we got to make sure we know where he is at all times. You know, and I was just impressed at how hard they play. And you know, the next thing that in 2015, Georgia Southern made its first bowl trip. And I remember how hungry our guys were on that first trip. And, you know, so that's something that we need to be very mindful of, too. These guys are coming to prove a point this Saturday, and we got to bring our A game, or, you know, we we won't like the result if we don't, you know. So just been very impressed with what I've seen. Very well coached and disciplined football team.
Coach, you spoke a little bit about the cause that this bowl game is centered on. How impactful is it for you personally, knowing that you have players on this team that have been directly affected by this cause?
Yeah, and you know, obviously we're talking about breast cancer, but cancer in general has affected a lot of our, you know, and I have my stories in my life too with my family members and things like that. And you know, to hear Rashad talk about it, and you know, we have an offensive lineman, Jake Edwards, whose mom's dealing with cancer, and you know, I just, you know, as a football coach, sometimes you just get so caught up in you know, day-to-day football. And I'm really trying to work on myself to go, you know what, it's bigger than ball. We had opportunity, you know, obviously we get to play Arkansas State in the Sun Belt, and you know, just following Blake Anderson's story, you know, meeting him and his wife at spring Sun Belt meetings a couple years ago, and just how awesome he was to me, advice he'd given me, and then just to kind of follow the story. And obviously, we'd never want anybody to pass away, but just seeing how much good has come from that, you know, and that's my message to our guys is, you know, sometimes bad things happen, but we need to try to make the best out of it. We need to try to find some good, and let God do His work, you know, and we don't understand everything that gets put on our plate, but God has a plan. He orders our steps, and that allows us to, you know, bring some good to the world.
Coach, these seniors are part of a group that's going for back-to-back bowl wins now. I know you say that, you know, the mentality is you should expect to be here. You have belief in each other, and so it shouldn't come as a surprise that y'all are here. But when you take a step back, has it been surreal to see what these seniors have done, given where it was when they came in, and then now where they are, positioned back-to-back bowl wins, the Camellia Bowl last year, everything like that? Can you speak a little bit about what these seniors have done?
Yeah, again, it's about legacy. We always challenge our seniors to leave it better than they found it, and add to the legacy. But we also challenge the young guys to make sure they're doing everything to send the seniors out right. I was a part of the 5-7 2016 season. I was a part of the 2-10 football season. I know how bad these guys hurt. I know how bad these guys wanted to win, because that's why they came to Georgia Southern. There's only been 5 losing seasons in Georgia Southern history. And so when you have a losing season, you know, it's hard. It's tough to be a Georgia Southern Eagle with a losing season. So to see them flip this thing and turn it around, go 10-3 last year, you know, 7-5 this year with opportunity to go 8-5 and finish it off right for this class, I'm very proud of their resiliency.
And then, Coach, last question. How excited are you to go into the theme parks with your family and be able to see some of the sights that University of Orlando has to offer?
You know, man, I was fired up when I heard that was part of this bowl thing. I mean, my wife and kids, they're already there. I'm getting 1,000 pictures every minute, looking at them smiling, having fun. And but you know what? That tells me, you know, when we get done here and then we go have our team meeting, we turn everybody loose. You know, that's what these bowl games are about. We got to know when to work, know when to have fun, and I'm pointing at myself when I say that, because lots of times as a coach, you sit there and talk about our acronym around here is WIN, what's important now, and sometimes as a coach, you know, I'm not doing what I tell our players to do, and so looking forward to going spending time with my family and being around them and just watching them have fun and have fun with them also.
Good luck on Saturday, Coach.
Thank you. GATA.